Donggung wrapped up after 8 episodes, but that final scene left us with way more questions than answers. Gu-cheon walked into that last fight saying he was done being chained to Gwimae forever. But when he left the palace, that chain was still literally wrapped around his wrist. So, was that fight actually over? And why did he tell Saeng-gang that a rough road was ahead instead of, a happy ending? I honestly think those two moments are our biggest clues for where Season 2 is headed. Today, we're breaking down every clue hidden in that Season 1 finale. And based on those clues, we're going to predict exactly where Season 2 could go. If you're into Donggung theories and want to know what happens next, go ahead and hit subscribe and like. Every bit of support you guys give helps me make these K-drama breakdown videos faster and better. Okay, let's start with the thing everyone's still talking about. That chain still hanging off Gu-cheon's wrist. Season 2 hasn't been officially confirmed yet, but the way Season 1 ended was definitely not a case-closed kind of ending. The big battle wrapped up, sure, but nobody explained what that chain actually means. And Saeng-gang's backstory with her family, still wide open. So if Season 2 happens, it's probably picking up right where those two loose threads were left hanging. Let's rewind to that final battle for a second. Gu-cheon takes down the Crown Prince, then walks off alone to break free from Gwimae's hold on him. But here's the thing, we never actually see what happens next. Time skips forward, Gu-cheon comes back alive, and that chain is still there. Whatever happened in that missing gap is probably the biggest secret Season 2 is building toward. Here's what's really interesting though. Gu-cheon clearly already knows the answer. We don't know what happened, but he does. He knows exactly why he survived, and he knows exactly why that chain never disappeared. Instead of explaining any of it to Saeng-gang, he just hints that hard times are coming. That alone tells us he's bracing himself for some kind of price he already knows is coming. So possibility number 1, Gu-cheon isn't actually free from Gwimae yet. Maybe it's a new contract, maybe it's a leftover curse, maybe it's something else entirely. We don't know yet, but that chain sitting there is a pretty obvious visual clue. If Season 2 runs with this, Gu-cheon might have to fight an entirely new battle just to earn real freedom. And this one's probably way more personal and way more dangerous than anything in Season 1. The most dramatic route, Gu-cheon has to pay some kind of price for everything that happened. Maybe he never fully let go of Gwimae's power, or maybe he's still tied to it somehow. Everything seems fine at first, but slowly that chain starts reacting again. That's the moment Gu-cheon realizes leaving the palace didn't actually mean the story was over. This could easily become the central mystery driving all of Season 2. Here's the thing though, Gu-cheon just becoming a stronger hero isn't enough on its own. Any new power he gets needs an equally serious downside. Otherwise, there's no tension, right? Maybe using his power makes the chain stronger, or maybe it slowly chips away at his own free will. If that's the setup, Gu-cheon's biggest enemy stops being just Gwimae. It becomes himself. And Gu-cheon's probably going to try to hide all of this from Saeng-gang. He doesn't want to drag her back into danger because of choices he made. He'll act totally normal on the outside, but she's going to start noticing the little things. The chain twitching, him wincing in pain and trying to play it off. Stuff like that. So right from the start of Season 2, these two are dealing with their first real secret. Honestly, this secret could end up making their relationship even stronger. In Season 1, Gu-cheon was mostly the one protecting Saeng-gang. In Season 2, it might flip. She's the one who has to protect him. If Gu-cheon tries to disappear and deal with this alone, Saeng-gang isn't going to just let him walk away. That's the moment their dynamic shifts from protector and protected into something more like two people saving each other. Possibility number 2. The story goes way beyond the palace walls. Gu-cheon and Saeng-gang literally leave the palace at the end. That's not just a peaceful, fresh start. It might be the beginning of a whole new world. If there were ghosts and grudges inside the palace, there's no reason there aren't just as many stories waiting outside it. Season 2 could naturally turn into a journey across different parts of Joseon. At first, they probably just want a normal life, far away from Gwimae. But the second they hit some random new town, that chain starts acting up again. Maybe that town has its own history of unexplained disappearances or deaths. Gu-cheon tries to stay out of it, but obviously he can't. And just like that, the first new Gwimae case of Season 2 kicks off. If every episode is just new town, new ghost though, it's going to start feeling repetitive fast. So it's more likely each case slowly connects back to one bigger mystery. Maybe different Gwimae in different regions all react strangely to the chain on Gu-cheon's wrist. Along the way, he realizes this chain is tied to something way older and way bigger than he thought. If that happens, Season 2 stops being a Monster of the Week show and becomes one massive mystery. This is also where Keo Meoksari's role could get a lot bigger. The story needs someone who knows more about the Gwimae world than Gu-cheon or Saeng-gang do. At first, this character could just be comic relief during a tense journey, but at some point, they might start acting like they know something about the chain. And they're hiding it. Once that secret comes out, the whole world of the show gets bigger too. This journey outside the palace connects pretty naturally to Saeng-gang's own story too. Her unresolved history with her father could become a major thread in Season 2. If she's just tagging along with Gu-cheon the whole time, there's not much room for her to actually grow. So it makes way more sense for this new journey to force her to face her past directly. Gu-cheon has his chain. Saeng-gang gets her father's secret. They're walking the same road, but chasing completely different questions. Gu-cheon needs to figure out what he's actually bound to, and Saeng-gang needs to figure out where she came from and what she lost. These two storylines might run separately for a while, then collide into one big event somewhere in the middle of the season. That's when Season 2 ties together its personal character arcs with the bigger mystery of the world itself. Possibility number 3. The palace doesn't let these two go that easily. Gu-cheon and Saeng-gang know way too many secrets from inside the palace walls. The crown prince's death, Gwimae's existence, the truths the royal family desperately wants buried. They know all of it. That kind of knowledge doesn't just disappear because they walked out the gate. If anything, the longer they're gone, the more some faction inside the court starts seeing them as a threat. At first, the people chasing them look like they're working for the king. Gu-cheon and Saeng-gang naturally assume the king wants them gone. But the longer this chase goes on, clues start pointing to someone else giving the actual orders. Someone inside the palace has a personal reason they absolutely need these two eliminated. That person could end up being the main human villain of Season 2. This person might have known about Gwimae's existence for a very long time. What they actually want isn't Gu-cheon's death. It's the power sealed inside his chain. If that's true, Gu-cheon's being hunted by monsters and by human greed at the exact same time. On the surface, the monsters look scariest, but honestly, people might be the real danger here. That thread could keep Season 1's whole vibe going strong into Season 2. If all this plays out, Season 2 ends up squeezed from two totally different directions. New Gwimae cases keep piling up ahead of them. Mysterious pursuers keep closing in from behind. And on top of all that, Gu-cheon still has to deal with his own chain problem, completely alone. With all three threats hitting at once, Season 2 could feel a lot bigger and faster paced than Season 1 ever was. If Gu-cheon keeps hiding his condition though, this could create their first real conflict. Saeng-gang's been sacrificing everything for him, and she's not going to take it well that he won't tell her the truth about himself. He'll probably say he was just trying to protect her, but that excuse isn't going to fix things instantly. For the first time, these two people who love each other are going to make completely different choices. That emotional clash could end up being the biggest turning point for their whole relationship in season 2. And right after that conflict, we could get the most intense emotional scene of the season. Gu-cheon loses control of the chain's power for the very first time. He tells Saeng-gang to get away from him, as far as possible. But this time, she doesn't run. She stays right beside him. In season 1, Gu-cheon protected Saeng-gang. This time, she's the one holding on to him. This kind of relationship shift is honestly what keeps season 2 from just being another action show. If it's just fight scene after fight scene against Gwimae, viewers are going to burn out emotionally at some point. But if Gu-cheon is slowly losing himself while Saeng-gang tries to hold on to him, suddenly every action scene carries real emotional weight. Every time he uses his power, we're worried about what it's costing him. And honestly, the more danger they're in, the deeper their relationship probably gets too. Somewhere past the halfway mark of season 2, Saeng-gang's past could really take center stage. While they're traveling outside the palace, she might stumble onto a new clue about her father. That clue might not directly connect to Gu-cheon's chain, but it could tie into a much bigger secret in the Gwimae world. Saeng-gang might have to separate from Gu-cheon for the first time and make her own choices entirely on her own. Through that, she could grow into a way more independent character than she was in season 1. By the back half of the season, these 3 separate storylines probably start colliding into one. It turns out Gu-cheon's chain, the new Gwimae cases outside the palace, and the court's chase after them were all connected the whole time. Maybe someone's been trying to weaponize Gwimae power for a very long time. There's even room for a twist where the entire season 1 palace storyline was just one piece of that larger plan. If that happens, season 2 opens up into a world way bigger than anything we saw in season 1. This is also where the king's real motives could come out. At first, it looked like the king was hunting them down, but the reality might be way messier than that. Maybe even the king doesn't fully control what's happening inside his own court. Or maybe he's not trying to get rid of Gu-cheon at all. Maybe there's now a reason he needs him back. If that twist lands, the king stops being a simple villain and becomes someone facing his own impossible choice. There's also a solid chance that everything traces back to the palace in the end. Gu-cheon left the palace, but that chain always looked like it was still connected to that place somehow. So it's totally possible season 2's final destination is right back where it started. Except this time, he's not going back, because someone ordered him to. He's choosing to go back himself. That one difference could make season 2 feel like a completely different story from season 1. Now, all of this is obviously just one possible direction things could go. What really matters is that season 1's final scene never actually gave Gu-cheon and Saeng-gang true freedom. They left the palace, but that chain never left Gu-cheon's wrist. Saeng-gang's past is still unresolved, and the palace clearly has more secrets left. So if season 2 happens, it's probably going to center around these 3 unfinished threads. First, Gu-cheon has to face the real price of that chain still on his wrist. Second, new Gwimae cases outside the palace, combined with Saeng-gang's past, could open up a much bigger world. Third, the palace and the royal court might not let these two go as easily as they think. Gu-cheon and Saeng-gang left the palace, but maybe they didn't leave the fate that started there. So out of these 3, which one do you think season 2 tackles first? Nothing about Donggung season 2 is confirmed yet, But if you follow the clues Season 1 left behind, a few clear directions start to show up. What do you think is hiding behind Gu-cheon's chain? And what story do you think Season 2 tells? If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe and like, and drop your own Season 2 predictions in the comments. Next time, we'll dig up even more clues we might have missed, and get you the earliest look at what's coming next for Dong-gung.